And there we are. It's dark in here. Never get the lighting perfectly right, but we're here. Good evening. Welcome. This is Dr. Thomas. This is Soul and Wisdom. Spiritual Wisdom with Dr. Thomas. I'm tired. Not quite sure why I decided to come on, but I decided to come on anyways. Because this is something I've actually been meaning to talk about for like 3 or 4 days. And so I figured, why not get it over with? Get it over with, right? And come on. For those that have been joining me over the past, few months, I've been channeling different things. And tonight, I don't know how much I'm going to channel or what I'm going to do because I'm a little tired, but I did want to continue this conversation with discernment. I started off with discernment being a trusting of yourself, a trusting of who you are, trusting of what you know deep down is true for you. And yet often, we don't listen to ourselves. And we go with another direction. I left last time with 2 questions. Rhetorical questions. Just to ponder what resonates with you. In our life, all these things are going on. They truly are. And as we go through and we make our steps in this journey, we often have to stop and think to ourselves, what is my next step? Where am I going next? What am I doing next? What should I do? What is right? What is less right? You see that? Is right or less right? What makes sense to me? And often we've been guided by the ego over the soul. And I've explained the difference between the two. I'm not going to get too deep into the woods tonight. But the ego relies upon society's norms, the rules you've been talked about that have been ingrained inside of you for the longest time. From the day we were born, we were taught this is how things are, what they should be, what you should do. And we've been taught just to accept it. And yet we all ponder these questions like, is this real? Is this right? Why does it not feel the right way? Why does it feel different? And so, we're going to try something here. And so I bring this to us because with this is discernment. It's up to you to decide what is real, what is right, and then take those steps. The 2 questions I asked, so I can remember them. The one question was, the Bible is 2023 years old. Do we really think that for 3,000, 5,000 years, whatever it's been, or for 3,000 years, that God spoke to us and then just stopped? Just stopped. Think about that question. The other one is, do we really think we're alone in this universe? But that's not what I want to get to tonight. That's not what we're talking about tonight. For years, people have been telling me, ooh, have you read the 4 Agreements? Have you read the 4 Agreements? I've been throwing this book, The 4 Agreements, out to me. See, Stacia's now going to be put to sleep by me. Yes, Stacia, it's my turn to put you to sleep. But for a while, even I think Stacia even said, "Have you read the Four Agreements?" So this weekend doing yard work, I listened to the Four Agreements, and one thing that, well, a couple things were obvious. I mean, it wasn't like it was any mind blowing information because it's all information that I've been talking about, information that I've been channeling for a while, but it was just put in a different way. But I found a couple of things interesting. One is just how he shares everything we've been taught, everything we've been told has been fed to us with an agenda for the most part. And we must, get ready, I'm going to paraphrase, use our discernment for ourselves about everything that has been taught to us, been thrust upon us. Another teacher I followed up with often said, and this is what I did with when social justice, when we are born, we are this blank slate. And as we go through life, from the day we are born, it's like everyone we meet puts a post note on us, giving us a description, giving us a label of who they think we are and thus who we are that describes us. And we see these labels, and that becomes our facade. That becomes how we identify who we are. But they were not placed by us, they were placed by others. And as we go through life, we're like, well, someone once told us that I'm tall, so I must be a tall person. Or someone once told me I was nice, so I must be nice, or mean, or angry, or whatever it is. Whatever those labels have been stuck onto us, whatever they are, whatever biases were put onto us because of where we are in life, they were put onto us. Just like with everything we were taught and how we should live, based upon these different rules, based upon how people in the past thought we should live. But what he says, in short, you must trust yourself. You must think about the discernment in your life. What feels right to you? That is right for you. You can't be living off what other people say, do, think, especially in relation to you. And then he said one more other thing I'm going to touch on. This idea of sin. We have been taught for our whole life, do not sin. If you sin, it means you're doing harm and wrong against God. So let's think about this for a second. I don't even need the channel tonight. Let's think about this for a second. If you sin, you are doing wrong against God. And then, of course, then the next thing is, well, you're going to be punished, banished to hell, blah, 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 all this stuff, okay? We already explained there's no hell. I already told you what hell is. Let's take this for a second. Let's add, I know, crazy stuff, science to it. So sin. What is sin? Well, first and foremost, for every single person. Okay, you want to talk about yada shit at the end. Yes, the question. What is sin? Well, you people, you need to know what sin is. It is different for every person. Because as that book said, and as we're going to say now, sin is not against a being, an entity, or anyone else. When you think of this idea of sin, do you know what it really is? You don't. You do not know what it really is. You think it's doing something wrong, making God unhappy. God is not unhappy. God is love, period. Nothing more than that. God is pure love. He loves you. She loves you. Whatever you want to call God, God loves you no matter what. But there is a truth in a lot of this. You ready for the truth? We like this. You ready for the truth? Who is God? You must understand that first, in order for you to understand the rest of the message. All the masters have told you who God is. You are God. Each person living, breathing on this planet is part of God. Each angel, alien, being of creation in this universe is part of God, part of the whole. Your DNA itself says God eternal within the body. It's the God code inside of every human being. The masters, Jesus, for example, said, speak in my name and you will get what you want in my name because my name is your name and you speak it for yourself because you can create. And those that come be after me will be just as better than I am. Yet, we think when we sin, or you call sin, when you sin, you are going against this deity in the sky who looks at you with wrath. But when you sin, what you are doing is going against yourself. You are not using discernment to figure out what it is that is resonating with yourself. Instead, you are listening to your ego and shadow self. And you are going against your true self. So these things you call sin, they're not against the God. They're against you. And if we stopped and used a little discernment, you would feel and see what you should be doing and what is the right choice for you. We make it seem so simple. He's come telling us it. We are making it seem so simple, but we're telling you it is. You don't understand it because you think you are a center of the universe still. You think you live in this complex world with so many things going left and right. And oh no, honey, see, little ones, you're not in a complicated world. Trust us. If you could see everything, you would see how complicated the world is around you. But we handle the complications. We've given you simplicity. And so, yes, you may not feel that it fits in with the truth truths that you've been grown up with, that you've been taught for your whole life. But if you sit back and use discernment about what truly resonates right with you, you may not follow through with how society expects you to follow through. You may not live as society expects you to live, but you feel right. And you will then start seeing things you've never imagined come forth for you in an abundance. Because with your discernment of what is right and wrong for yourself, takes away the sin and trust us, puts you to living in love. And when you live in love, you live in the light. Discernment's much easier to detect. Your shadow self does not have the control anymore. And it all comes back to the very beginning. Because in the beginning, there was love. And now is the time to truly go deep within and find a discernment for yourself and trust yourself. Not trust your ego, trust yourself. Your lower solar plexus, sacral, your heart chakra. Trust yourself. And you will find things are so much better. So we go back to what he said first before we took over. What is sin? Sin is nothing more than a failure to use discernment and to choose the paths and options that don't resonate with you. You are not sinning against some higher deity because God loves you. When you sin against yourself. And now let's ask this question. Who judges you? There is only one that would ever judge you. And that is you. And that is where you feel these ideas of guilt, of shame. Because you went against yourself. God doesn't mind. Your guides don't mind. Your ancestors don't mind. All those beings around you don't mind. Because you have free choice. And they are all just proud of whatever you do. But when you go against yourself, you know it. You do. And you feel it. And you judge yourself. After the fact, you know what you truly were supposed to do. Now, the next thing is to forgive and move on because you've already made the decision. But remember, it's no one else judging you but you. Hence, you forgive and you move on. But sin is nothing more than the lack of discernment in your own life. Being judged by the only one that matters in your life. The God within you, yourself. So we say this. We've talked about this. You've been raised in a society of things that are built to make you live a certain way by certain rules. See the ding, it says that it's right. Hello, is it Papa? Right. But we say to you tonight, it is time to use your discernment in how you live. There's no need to sin against yourself anymore. God loves you. Your guides love you. Your angels love you. All those around you love you. He loves you. We love you for being you. And now it's time to just use that discernment more. Trust in yourself and see where it takes you. We love you. So much blessings to you because you are here and you made it this far. And you will continue. And we will watch with love, with glee and delight, and so much pride you will never be able to experience until you join us. How much pride we have for you. Good night. They say it's so much better than I can even think it. Uh, that's like the crazy thing when I do this. It's like I'm consciousness. So it's like a co-consciousness. So like I laugh because I did want them to say this is so simple because it is. It is for us. Liana, welcome. Thank you for watching. Stacia, thank you as always. Anyone that comes on a replay, feel free to say hi. Feel free to share, like it, whatever you like. Make a comment. Hey, it's all good stuff. But I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful night. Ask yourself, where is the discernment in your life? And how can you get ready? See, how can you stop sinning against yourself? Because that's all it is. We all do it. Hey, I'm guilty of it too. But hey, I'm working on it, and I'm doing this live. All right, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for joining in and for everything. Have a blessed evening. Night.